for emotion and behavior regulation. And the arts integration can help you with that. Some of them might have speech, language, and communication difficulties. And something like seeing the world, sensing the world, feeling the world, and being able to respond to color, sensation, and experience might help them. Others may have physical and sensory difficulties. But with the use of the arts, you're moving them out of a set of very traditional ways of looking at the classroom and enabling and empowering them in mainstream schools. So, mainstream schools can be powerful places where a meaningful and well-planned curriculum and non-curricular intervention can take place. So, clubs, societies after school, dance, like the beautiful dance that you saw that welcomed us today, all these things. But inside the classroom, you can do this too. But I have a thought for us. How do we then make sure all of us in this room can do this? You may think, oh, but I'm not trained. But the beauty of the creative arts is this. We ask ourselves, we allow individuals to tap into alternative forms of expression. But at the same time, you are learning attention, motor skills, and in some cases, the most common kinds of SEN that you might encounter in your mainstream schools might be dyslexia, Asperger's syndrome, ADHD, concentration issues. But instead of being the student at the back of the class who is disruptive because their attention is not being kept, you're going to find that using arts might liberate these individuals and give students some other outlet for expression that then empowers them in the classroom. So, what are we looking at? So, typical teaching methods which focus on learning through just seeing or listening don't always help SEN students, because SEN students need extra support. And this extra support is by motor skills refinement, daily living refinement, learning. Even the ones who are very cognitively high on the spectrum and on tests do really, really well. But yet at the same time, attention, deficiency, all these things are there. So artistic activities, as we're reminded, remember there's not one shade of green, there's 49 shades out there. There's not one shade of red. Let's do an experiment. Everybody look around the room, ask, how many shades of white do you see? So, if you see more than one, please put up your hand. How many? Precisely. If you think you see more than 5 shades of white, put up your hand. Precisely, because there's a whole spectrum out there. And what we're doing with arts integration is to allow students with special educational needs to have one more empowering agency in the classroom through the senses, hearing, smelling, touches. And particularly, our case studies are going to show that in a moment. So music and movement programs can help learners to find healthy outlets. Drumming is an alternative form of expression. Even your high cognitive student may want to express ideas and may find that there is a release for language and communication by drumming, by percussion, by being able to learn to find rhythm and look and respond to the rhythms of life, because that will then empower their imaginations and not make them think that because I don't like the way that the traditional classroom works, somehow I'm not going to have self-actualization. Now, here's the problem, of course, and this is just a bite-sized observation for us, because there's so many things that we can talk about in this area. Specialized training is always needed, because what we need to remember is for even arts integration, as esteemed colleague pointed out, for the use of English language with the arts integration, you need pedagogical mind shifts. You need to adjust your pedagogy and to accommodate learners. Sometimes the national boards have certifications. Other times there are other certifications that you achieve as part of personal development or professional development. Also, it has now become very popular, especially in places like Singapore, where you have mainstream individuals inside mainstream schools alongside SEN learners for there to be experienced practitioners coming in, so that in-school teaching can help used to enhance teacher training, because teacher capacity building. I think all the esteemed gentlemen and speakers before have reminded us about time. Teachers have limited time, so where do we train and how do we train? So just a reminder, teaching students is never a one-person show, simply because it's about the team. It's working with other teachers that amplifies your impact and that can make you allow students to become more enabled, especially so when you have special needs students. And here's a timely reminder. I've got a quotation for you from the Center for Research for Child Development. The adage that it takes a child to raise, the adage that it takes a village to raise a child is true, especially for the support of children with SEN in schools. Special expertise is needed to guide the children. However, everyone can play a part and everyone needs to play a part. So that's something for us to think about. And what can we do? Like with the art example that we talked about, we want ownership of your own stories. We want local storytelling to remain. We want authentic embodied narratives by allowing the child in the drama classroom, for instance, to experiment, and there are ways to teach collaboration, ways for SEN students to learn how to belong to communities and to work with other people. So here's a case study for you from theatre. We can use identifiable scenarios in individuals with SEN in an integrated classroom. You can use scaffolded instructions, step-by-step, staggered ways. So everything is chunked up, everything is bite-sized. And then there is the whole idea of deliberate instruction, knowing exactly what you want to say, why you say it, so we don't get the sort of feedback we got about student engagement from our last paper presenter, that students said the instructions were unclear. And finally, the idea of show and tell. So, it allows us to use feedback to get to where we want. And we can also use alternative mode for sketching and the whatnot. So I want to show you these pictures. There are SEN students performing alongside other students with different enablements. You can share and grow inclusively, and I'm going to show you this, only a little bit of it, and SEN students then can work. Okay, up. Let's see if the video will play. Okay, seems to be having problems. I'm going to bypass, and I'm going to hand over to my colleague, who's going to tell us a little bit more about a case study from creative writing, which also empowers us to do the same thing. Dr. Pillay, please. So thank you very much. That was about the idea of SEN with drama and movement. Now we move on. Thank you.
The co-speaker is a recipient of 3 teaching awards for excellence over the years. Pravasi Research Excellence Award for her pioneering work on Singapore Malayali community and a National Commendation Medal from the Singapore government. Dr. Anita Devi Pillai is a teacher educator at Singapore's only teacher training institution where she teaches courses on writing pedagogy. Dr. Pillai is an anthropology linguist by training, a fictional writer and a translator. She is the president of the Singapore Association of Applied Linguistics and serves on several government boards. Let's put our hands together to welcome the illustrious speaker on stage. Thank you.